A military parade on Saturday that will honor the Army's 250th anniversary. It's also the president's birthday. We also know there are more protests that are in support of immigrants that are scheduled. That includes right here in the Twin Cities.
And protesters plan to march through St. Paul on Saturday. This is as a counter to the president's planned military parade through D.C. So this is video from the hands-off protest that was held back in April. Organizers are calling Saturday's protest a, quote, national day of action against the Trump administration. 1,500 protests are planned across the country this weekend. Protesters plan to meet at St. Paul College. They then will march to the state capitol at noon, where a rally is set.
June 14th is shaping up to be something crazy. That's because not only is June 14th Flag Day, it is also President Trump's 79th birthday. It is when the military parade honoring the 250th anniversary of the Army will take place. And it is also the date of the No Kings protest. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this yet, but there are over 1,800 protests planned across the country on June 14th. And this No Kings protest essentially is kind of similar to the last one they had back in April, if you remember. I'm sure they don't, but anyway, the goal is to go out yet again and have people demonstrate just how much they dislike Donald Trump. This is what they do almost every weekend, it feels like at this point. But the reason this is interesting is because so many people on the left side of the aisle are upset about this quote unquote military parade taking place. They say, oh, it's wasteful, it's gonna cost anywhere from $25 to $45 million, which is kind of ironic coming from the same people who had no issue giving billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine, but I digress. But this is going to be quite the weekend. Of course, we know many on the left side of the aisle want to see something happen that will essentially paint them in a positive light. But this is going to be very similar to the protests that we've seen take place ever since Trump was reelected. And it's going to essentially be much ado about nothing. Nothing will change, but the left has to feel like they are a part of something. So they are going to engage in this behavior continually so as to ascribe some meaning to their lives, because this is all they know how to do at this point. So if you're planning to go out and about on June 14th, just be aware these protests will be taking place in multiple locations across the country. Be vigilant. Don't let yourself be baited by individuals who want nothing more than to have something happen that will confirm their errant suspicions about individuals on the right side of the aisle. So keep your eyes open, stay safe, stay vigilant, and be prepared for June 14th this weekend.
Hi. Did you hear about the billionaires protest this weekend? That's right. This weekend, the billionaires are going in all over the United States. And what they're doing is that they're using illegal immigrants and just regular Americans to help them in their quest of globalism. And that's what it is. You know, they are making people think that they're protesting against ICE. That's not what you're doing. What they're really doing is that they're causing chaos, because that is how they plan to rule and take over everyone all over the world, through chaos. They're not just doing it in the United States. It's happening all over the globe. And if you look at it, who's paying for it? You can always look. You can usually find out. And luckily, our Department of Justice has done a great job in finding out who's paying for all of these protests, all of these rallies, because, you know, not only do they have rocks and bricks that they have set up in places, but they even have masks, $30 masks set up. That all of this was paid for by some of the wealthiest people in the world. And so you have to ask yourself, are you going to help participate in something to destroy your country so that the wealthiest people in the world can say that they run you and every other country in the world? Anyway, they're planning, I think they call it their No Kings protest this weekend. Yeah, you know what that means? That means that they don't want sovereign countries. They want to run everybody. So that's why they're saying no kings. They don't want a king, and they call Donald Trump a king, which I think is funny. But instead of calling him, they're not saying no presidents, because if they said no presidents, then people would start getting a little suspicious over what is their goal? What are they trying to do? But you know what they're doing? And I hope that you're not involved. All they're doing is getting people, regular people, to go and fight a battle that they have worked on for decades. This is not something new. So all of these illegal immigrants, all of these regular people who are out here protesting for the billionaire march this weekend, please make sure that you know what it is that you're protesting. They're not protesting ICE. They're just telling you that. They're protesting your country. And I hope you understand that you're helping them in trying to take down the United States of America. Anyway, I just thought
you need to be very careful if you're going outside this Saturday on June 14th. There is over 1,500 protesters going around all over America. This right here is a flyer that's going around for the protest going on this Saturday. The protest is called No Kings Mobilize, and it's basically a shot at Donald Trump calling him a king. And I'm telling you, there is locations all across America, over 1,500 and counting. There's even protests outside of the United States as well. This website even have live training for any protester that encounters a police officer or any law enforcement. It was also crazy when I was doing research about this, it seems like one of the members of the Walmart family is funding the event. Now, I do think most of it will probably be very peaceful, but obviously there's going to be some bad apples. I can't say what's going to happen, but this Saturday, you have to be very careful. So if you're going out or you know somebody that's going out this Saturday to anything, let them know to be very careful because you